Hey guys, today we're going to be working on the side mirrors on this custom 1940 Ford Coupe. We're going to use the Mustang mirrors and adapt them to fit to this car. These things here aren't going to be used. As you can see, this is the passenger side one because somebody threw out the driver's side housing. Didn't think it was important. Well, it isn't. This is garbage as well because this shape and the size is totally wrong for this car. You know, just imagine this thing, well, this is the other side, but being stuck on. So instead of using these, I sat down behind the computer, drew up some new ones in CAD, sent it off to our printer, 3D printer, and printed these. Not too bad, eh? Not too good either. They're really small because these are scaled down versions of the actual mirror housing. I wanted to see how it would print, if there are any weird inconsistencies within the print before we went ahead and printed the full scale mirror housings. So once I was happy with the small one, went ahead, scaled it to full size and printed this. And it sat on the bed just like that. And then after a couple hours, it gave us this. Now, as you can see, I've actually managed to fit the Mustang mirror arm that sat within the old housing into this new one here. We had to do a little bit of trimming, but it didn't turn out too bad. We still have to take and trim off this bottom support, and then we have to shape this profile to the body. It's close, but we don't want it rocking around. We want it to sit there firmly on the door. So we have to take and kind of massage that once we figure out where the mirrors are going to go. Before we get into that, I want to take and remove this support from this one and trim down the passenger side arm, this part here, down to basically the same size as the driver's side so we can fit it in to the passenger side housing, which I've already prepared by removing the support, sanded in preparation for high build primer. That's all it's going to need. A couple coats of high build, block it out, and this will be ready. The only reason I didn't remove the support is because I want to show you guys how this evolved from a scaled piece to the actual piece to the part that's ready for primer. So let's go ahead and trim down this big arm. There's not much to trim off, a little bit. Let's see if I can do a side-by-side comparison. It's a lot lighter too, but still really strong. We didn't take out any of the structural integrity of this arm. It still has the webbing inside there. We just kind of trimmed it down. The mirror is a lot smaller and, well, the arm can be a little bit smaller as well. So this is the, let's see here. Gotta hold my tongue just right. There we go. So this is the passenger side one. You can see how high this area is in through here and that. So that was all basically brought down to that level there so we can slip it through the housing. The Mustang arm slid in through the housing as well. And there was a little fastener at the bottom that held it in place. Once everything's primed, fitted to the car, almost ready for paint, we'll go ahead and cut out some new mirror stock so we can adhere the new mirrors to the motorized face. These are power mirrors. That's why I want to retain these arms. Basically just plug them in and the stock controls on the Mustang will still, or the Mustang donor, will still operate our mirrors. You don't have to reach out and start pushing the mirror around with your hand or have a manual little lever. So yeah, so custom touch. The ultimate goal with this whole project is to use as many of the donor Mustang components as possible. We want this to look like a factory, kind of a factory custom. Oxymoron, yes, I realize that, and some people have actually had problems with our titles, custom, factory, factory custom, but essentially at the end of the day, that's what this thing is. It's a factory car that got altered a little bit, and became a custom. We'll have to drill 2 holes for the studs to mount the mirror, and then one in the center. Yes, I know it's painted, not a problem. Just take our time. It's been done before. One in the middle for the wire for the power mirrors. So anyway, came out quite well. And you can see that handle. It worked out really well too, eh? Let's see if I can close the door. I better not. Things are still being assembled inside, but as you can see, you have just enough space to get your hand in there and unlock the door. I'll probably latch it on the first one. There we go. So it's latched, but as you can see, it works quite nicely. Leave that there. I'm gonna have to take the motor off so we can get in there and cut that without hurting the wire. right, so they're looking really close to each other. Almost. We need to take and thin out the passenger side one on top a little bit more. Just kind of bring that down. It's almost even with that plug. Let's reassemble this and see if we can slide it through the housing. Take these off. Okay, passenger side. It's close. We can take it down just a little bit more. Okay, we could reassemble this one again. Compare and contrast the two. That one's sitting almost where it needs to be, but there's something holding it back. I want to see how close we are with our shapes. See how that slides in so nicely? Ah, yes, I see why. Okay, no problem. We'll do the same. Take that off, take that off. See, I wanted to maintain a thin arm. I don't want a really big arm, and minimize the size of the mirrors just to what is necessary. We're just about there, guys. There's plenty of webbing, plastic webbing on here for strength. We don't need the full 1-inch width. We can trim that down, because these screws, they're tiny screws. So we can kind of minimize the size of this thing. Just about there. Yeah, I've been saying that a few times. We want this to slide together without any trouble. Just like this one. See? Just falls right in there. Almost comes out to the outside edge. Aha, there we go. And everything's installed. So this has come out almost to where it needs to. See how it's flush with the outside of this face here. And yeah, we have that third aligning pin that we're going to leave. And there's plenty of room for this motorized disc to rotate, or pivot, I should say. Pivot's the right word. Around to adjust the mirror location. This is the passenger side, yeah. It's flatter on the bottom than it is on top. The top has a little more curvature to it. Just like this one here. Actually, I want to make a slight adjustment. See, if you can help it, make the change to your structural piece and not to the motor. If you ever needed to, you probably could, but in the event you have to change the motor, you'll have to take and replicate that change to the motor housing. Here, nothing was done to the motor, nothing was done to the harnesses, just to this arm. So, that's it. Right on. You see, both housings are identical. To fabricate this, it'd be a bit of a challenge. It's doable. We've done it. We've created arms for hot rods, or mirrors for hot rods. All right, this one's already just about there. I'm going to make sure that There's something binding up. Right there. Gotta be quick. Okay, so this one's ready for primer. I'm taking disassemble this. Get this one pulled out. Now we go ahead and take and trim off the support here. A lot of times you can break them off, but this one's kind of stuck on. So I'm just going to smooth it out with a grinder, take off most of it with the zip blade, smooth it out, and then we'll go ahead and sand the housing, and again, get this one ready for primer. Okay, most of the support is gone. Now we'll take some 40 grit on the DA and smooth it out the rest of the way. You want to prepare the surface of your printed part. This is an ABS printed part. We use ABS filament, so it's pretty much what you have on your vehicles right now. And what we want to do is just smooth this out, prepare it for primer. Okay, the mirror housings are all sanded, prepped, and just show you the inside. You see, you have a nice soft radius edge that I guess the software blended everything into one shell, if you will. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Next time you see these mirrors, they're gonna be painted and ready to go on the car. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button, help our channel grow. I appreciate that a lot, guys. Take care.